Good morning to everyone. In the previous lecture, we discussed the cantilever beam subjected to a linearly varying load, 0 at free end and W at the fixed end. Here, in today's class, we will discuss the shear force and bending moment and plot the shear force and bending moment diagrams for a cantilever beam subjected to a linearly varying load, 0 intensity load at fixed end and W per meter at the free end. The only difference between the previous lecture and today's lecture is the load at free end is not same in both the cases. In the previous lecture, the free end, the load is 0. Here, the load is W per meter length at the free end. The rest of thing is same. Initially, it is completed in 3 steps. In the first step, just we have to calculate the rate of loading or intensity of loading. Now, intensity of loading. So, loading at any section, say as C, any section at C. So, from free end, that is very important, free end. So, this is the important point. So, for that, so let us consider section XX. So, this is the section XX at a distance small x from free end. That is the section taken at a distance small x from free end. So, calculation of the intensity of load at a section XX, simply say as at C from that diagram. So, let us consider the diagram. So, this is the first, say this is a load as shown. This is the free end, fixed end. This is the free end. So, the intensity of load increases from fixed end at A to the free end B is W. Right? As we know that the section is taken at a distance XX from the free end. So, let us see this is the geometry of a triangle of base L. So, know that intensity is W. So, let us see the portion left to the section. Say this is the intensity of load at section C or XX So, we have to find out the intensity of load at the section C is assumed as W suffix X. Definitely, the length of the portion left to the section XX is L minus X. So, then from the similar triangles, next from the similar triangles, So, what about the intensity of load or at a section XX, W suffix X? What about the intensity of load at B, that is W is equal? What about the length of the smaller triangle, that is L minus X? So, what about the length of the larger triangle L? Therefore, so W suffix X, that is the intensity of load at a particular position from the free hand is Wx is equal W into L minus X divided by L, that is equal WL by L minus W into X by L. So, simply, therefore, the intensity of load at a section XX is W minus W into X by L. Say this is equation number 1. So once you know the intensity of load at a particular position or intersection XX, you can find out the shear force and bending moment. Now calculate the shear force at any section. So therefore here just consider the right to the section, consider the portion right to the section. Just I would like to draw the, so this is the section XX, right? This is the portion of the section right to the section. So say this is, we know that it is W suffix X. Definitely it becomes capital W minus WX, since it is W. So it is W. Here say this is the C, this is the B. This is the C, this is the B. So for example, we have the two portions or combination of two geometrical shapes. One is the rectangular shape, second one is the triangular shape. Let us see the, what about that? So let us consider so area on CB. So here it is divided into two parts. Say the first part is, so this is the a rectangle, right, of length say as X. It is W suffix X. What about the area? Say this is area is equal, say as A1 for convenience, that is equal, that gives the total area. So WX into X. I think that we know the WX. What about the WX? That is equal to W, capital W minus W into X. So I think that it is not visible. Say that is equal to, what about that? That is equal to W minus W into X by L. This is the W suffix X into X. This is the total load under the area rectangle. So this is the one. Next one, let us consider the second part, that is a triangle of again base, as we know that small x, and height of the triangle as we know that is W minus W suffix X. So again, what about the area? That is area, let us assume A2. It is equal to load under the area of the triangle, that is equal to half into whatever the base, small x, into whatever the height, W minus W suffix X. That is equal to half into small x into, what about the WX, capital W minus, what about the WX? WX is known, that is equal to W minus W into X divided by L. So simply half into X into, definitely it is cancelled. So that becomes plus W into X by L. So that is equal to of W X square by L. I think that the load right to the section is sum of A1 and A2. So that is the total load. But the location of the total load of magnitude W minus Wx by L into X is not same as that of the half into W X square. So this is very important calculation. So to find out the shear force and bending moment. So no doubt at all, A1 plus A2 is the shear force. While determining the bending moment, you must locate the centroid of the rectangle as well as the triangle. So therefore, shear force that is represented as SF. So mathematically that is Fx. So the right to the section downward taken as positive. Therefore, Fx is equal to, we know that, what about the area of the rectangle? That is x into, so what about the height? Wx plus half into base into, what about the height? Capital W minus Wx. So as we know that is x into, what about Wx? Again W minus W into x by L plus half into x into W minus of W minus W x by L. From this equation, finally, the shear force Fx is equal to, so W x minus x square by 2L. So I think that it follows the parabolic law. So this is the shear force. Then SF at A, so that is B, SF at B, that is at x is equal to 0. Therefore, FB is equal to 0, and SF at A, it means at x is equal to L. So finally, that value, if you substitute that, the FB is equal to W into L minus L square by 2L. Finally, that is equal to WL by 2. I think that we know the shear force at A, that is FA is equal to WL by 2, and at B, that is 0. Then you can draw the shear force from the values at A and B. Now calculate the bending moment. So now calculate the BM. So therefore BM is represented by Mx. So I think that we know the shear force, that is equal to, so that is x into Wx. What about the position of the x into Wx with respect to the section XX? That is at a distance x by 2 plus, what about the shear force? That is the shear force under the right angle triangle area, that is equal to half into x into W minus Wx. That is always measured from the slant side vertex, then simply that is 2/3 of x. So this is equation number 1 while determining the BM. So simply we know that, therefore Mx is equal to, so x into, what about the Wx? We know that Wx is calculated already. So W minus W into x by L, so and into x by 2. So plus, what about that, half into x into, so that is equal to W minus of W into x divided by L, that is L. So this is the x, W minus Wx is W minus W, this is into W. So W minus x into 2x by 3. Simply substitute the, it follows the cubic law. Therefore, Mx is equal to, so that is equal to x square by 2L into, so W minus W x by L plus, so that is equal to cancel. So Wx square by 3L into W minus Wx by L. Simply you can calculate the bending moment at x is equal to 0. It means MB, that is 0, and BM at x is equal to L, it means MA. So therefore MA would be WL square by, simply that value would be, so WL square by 3. So from these two values you can find out, therefore MB is equal to 0 and MA is equal to WL square by 3. It produces the sagging moment. So finally you can plot the graph. We can plot the graph from the value. So from the values FA is equal to WL by 2, FB is equal to 0 and MA is equal to, so from the values FA and FB and MA and MB, we can plot the graph. Say this is the baseline. So right, this is the baseline. This is the fixed end A, this is the fixed end B. So it is a parabolic curve. So it follows the parabolic. This is parabolic. This is the baseline. So this is SFD. So that is the shear force diagram from the values obtained. So FA and FB. Then plot the graph for the bending moment. So this is the end A, this is end B. So I think that it follows the cubic law and it is a sagging. So this is very important one. This is sagging moment. It means just we have to draw the bending moment diagram below the baseline. So this is, its value is WL square by 6. It is WL by 2. So this is 0. It is negative. It is positive. This is the bending moment diagram. So today we covered the shear force and bending moment for a cantilever beam subjected to a linearly varying load with the intensity of load 0 at fixed end and maximum at free end, which is equal to W. So initially we have to take the section at a distance x from A, that is B. It is at free end. That is very important. Whatever the position of the intensity of load, so you always take the section at a distance small x from the free end only. So then the important point in this problem is calculation of the shear force right to the section. It is the combination of rectangle and the triangle. It means, so I think that it shows that this is the rectangular portion, right? So this is the triangular portion. So we have to calculate the shear force right to the section that is in a trapezoidal shape. It is to be divided into or split up into two parts. That is the one is the rectangular portion, second one is the triangular portion. That is very important calculation in this problem. We know that this is the small x, this is W suffix x. Then you can find out the total load with the geometry, that is the area of the rectangle, x into Wx. Then similarly you can calculate the total load with considering the right angle triangular area, that is half into base into height. Then the location of the rectangle as well as the triangle also you know. From that you can calculate the bending moment with respect to the section xx. Finally the bending moment is 0 at B and the bending moment is WL square by 3 in a sagging moment, that is drawn graphically in the bending moment diagram. So that is the cantilever beam subjected to a linearly varying load. So let us see the relation between load, shear force and bending moment. For that, let us consider a beam subjected to a uniformly distributed load. So this is the uniformly distributed load, for example at the rate of W Newton per meter, for example. So what is the relation between the shear force, load and bending moment? For that, let us consider a portion or cut a portion. Say this is just I would like to consider a part of the beam. Say this is one section. So just I would like to show the cut part. Say this is the portion. This is say as a beam. It is subjected to a uniformly distributed load. Am I right? So this is left to the section. So this is the left to the section. Am I right? So this is the right to the section. Am I right? This is the one. So here let us consider a force of magnitude left to the section is F vertically upward, and its magnitude of moment of magnitude is M. So generally for under equilibrium condition, the shear force right to the part, that is F plus delta F. So and then the bending moment is simply that is M plus delta M. Here the length of the cut portion is taken as delta X. The rate of load is, as we know, that is W. Alright. So then you can calculate the total load. So calculation of total load of delta X. So therefore the total load simply becomes W into delta X. We know that it is always concentrated at the center of gravity, that is C. I think that is vertically downward. Its magnitude is so W into delta X. I think that where small w or W is the rate of load for unit length and F is the force at a section X, that is from the left, and at a distance delta X, X plus delta X, the shear force is, or the force is F plus delta F. The magnitude of the moments at a section XX, M at the section X plus delta X is M plus delta M. I think that we know all the forces. So for a portion of length delta X subjected to a uniformly distributed load at the rate of W, and its total load is concentrated at the midpoint of the delta X is C. So this is the free body diagram under equilibrium condition. So now, so for equating vertical forces, now equating vertical forces. So what are the vertical forces? I think that one is F, second one is the W into delta X, third one is the F plus delta F. I think that so F is vertically upward, W into delta X is vertically downward, and the F plus delta F is vertically downward. So therefore, if vertical upward forces are taken as positive, the rest of the forces must be taken as negative. So therefore, F minus W into delta X minus F plus delta F is equal to 0. So F minus W into delta X minus F minus delta F is equal to 0. So therefore, so that becomes, so W into delta X minus is equal to, so delta F. Therefore, W is equal to delta F by delta X. This can be rewritten as the rate of loading W is equal to, so dF by dx. So this is the, again it is negative sign. So this is equation number 1. What we did simply, so we know a beam subjected to uniformly distributed load at the rate of W Newton per meter. So in which let us consider a part with a length delta X. So and then at a section XX, the force F and magnitude of the moment M in clockwise direction and force vertically upward, and at a distance x plus, I think that this is the distance from the section XX, that is x plus delta x, the force F plus delta F vertically downward because under equilibrium condition, and so the moment is in counterclockwise, that is M plus delta M. This is very important. Then you can calculate the total load. It is always rate of loading in and length of the load distributed over a distance, that is delta x. It is W into delta x. That is always concentrated at the center of gravity. So then you can calculate the moment, the relation between the moment. So I think that we know the moment at a section XX, and with respect to the C, you can find out the moment produced by the F and F plus delta F also. Now taking the moments of, moments of all the forces about C. So what about the moment produced by the F, that is says that is x by 2. This is the total length is delta x. This is delta x by 2. We know the perpendicular distance with respect to C and the direction of the F. So therefore, what about the moment? So M that produces the clockwise plus what about the moment produced by the F with respect to the C? You know the magnitude of the force F and the perpendicular distance from the line of action of the F to the moment center C is delta x by 2. That is F into delta x by 2. So that produces the clockwise. Then similarly, I think that F plus delta F is also producing the clockwise movement with respect to the C. That is also taken as plus. So whatever is the perpendicular distance, simply that is delta x by 2. F plus delta F into delta x by 2. So what about the moment at a section x plus delta x, that is M plus delta M? It is in counterclockwise, taken as negative, that is M plus delta M equal to 0. Simplify it, that is equal to M plus F into delta x by 2 plus F into delta x by 2 plus delta F into delta x by 2 minus M minus delta M is equal to 0. So therefore, I think that these two are cancelled, and I think that F into delta x, am I right? And F into delta x, 2F delta x by 2 plus delta F into delta x by 2 minus delta M is equal to 0. And neglecting products or small quantities, it means neglecting this value. So therefore, the finally, F into delta x minus delta M is equal to 0. So therefore, F into delta x is equal delta M, F is equal delta M by delta x. This can be rewritten as F is equal dm by dx. So this is the shear force. Simply, the shear force is rate of bending moment. The rate of loading is rate of shear force. So from equation number 1 and 2, we know the relation between the load, shear force and bending moment. What about the rate of loading? That is the rate of loading is the rate of shear force per unit length. What about the shear force? That is the rate of bending moment. So from this equation, we know the relation between the rate of loading with the shear force and the shear force with the bending moment. So with this information, we can find out the rate of loading at any distance and bending moment at any where in terms of the rate. So we will continue the rest of the typical problems in the next class. Thank you.